Back to this Island Vote 2003 election special. We continue now with the debate for the Nassau's legislator in District Number 1. The candidates are Ricky LaRosa and Kevon Abrahams. And let's go ahead, gentlemen, and continue now with the questions. I'm going to begin with you, Ricky. What do you do about property taxes? Everyone, or most everyone, has seen their property taxes go up. How do you address that issue?
Since 1999, when the Democrats took control of the legislative, they've raised taxes 57%. And again, in my situation, my job, day job, homeowners are leaving the county. They're leaving for other states. I'm talking people that have been here all their lives. My generation, I'm 41 years old. I cannot afford to buy a house in Nassau County. It's the first time generation that we can't do that. It's not just saying that we're not going to increase the taxes. We have to truly, there's a lot of monies out there, there's a lot of contracts that are being given out there, and I'll say both parties are guilty of doing it. I'll admit that. We have to seriously, we cannot increase no more taxes. I'm sorry, we can't. We have to find other solutions, and we have to cut the spending. Our community's hurting. Okay, they're leaving, Heather. They're leaving. A record number of houses are being sold on Nassau County, and I've never seen that before in my life. And 57%. And yes, it has been tax and expend what the Democrats have been doing. Let's call it for what it is. It's been tax and spend, $500 million spending more than they were supposed to, and we can't have that. We can't continue that.
Kevon, go ahead and give your response to that. Are the Democrats taxing and spending?
Obviously not, no. And 57%, I mean, I heard the number on a TV commercial. I mean, I don't know where the number comes from, to be honest, but let's address the issue. Number one, the Republicans left us with a huge deficit in debt. Nassau County was on the fiscal on the fiscal edge of going over. It was going to be taken over. Pretty much, Moody's was going to downgrade. Moody's and Fitch were going to downgrade our bonds down to junk bond status. We were at the verge of a fiscal disrepair. And I think now, over the last 4 years, under the Democrat leadership in the majority legislature, and with the county executive over the last year and a half, we've started to get more fiscal stability. The $500 million number that everybody keeps talking about, expenses go up, but they're not attributed to the county's expenses. They're attributed to state-funded mandates. There's stuff that we have to increase our spending for. So just to throw it and say that we're increasing taxes because of that, I don't think it's a fair statement. You have, if Ms. LaRosa is really interested in curbing expenses in Nassau County, let's go to our state legislators, let's go to our governor and tell them we need help with the state-funded mandates.
Do you like that idea? Do you support going to the state legislature, or even perhaps the governor, to try and help Nassau County out?
I think we can avoid. I think we can get our own house in order. We can avoid that, and also, okay, state mandates are state mandates, but creating 7 new departments, okay, and giving a whole slew of patronage jobs, those are not mandates. Those are just, you know, party handouts by Mr. Swanson.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about affordable housing. You have the average cost of a house in Nassau County topping more than $300,000. Kevon, how do you get people blue-collar workers to afford a house such as that?
Oh, the home prices in Nassau County have definitely gone up. What I would like to see, and which I don't see enough in our community, is start to see a lot of the houses that are burned out, a lot of the homes that we start to see that are vacant. And we see them all over the Roosevelt, Uniondale, Freeport, Hempstead, Lakeview communities. We see it all the time. And what I would like to see is a more aggressive program that I'll be willing to look into and try to get done through the county, but I know a lot of the housing gets done through the town, is we start to see a lot of those homes start to be rebuilt and sold at a lower cost, maybe $115,000, $120,000. So we start to give working families an opportunity to purchase land and equity in Nassau County.
And what about you, Ricky? How do you go about creating some affordable housing within your district?
It's a big problem, Heather. And it's also a double-edged sword, because on one hand we have many illegal dwellers, okay, multiple dwellings in a single-family house, and which causes a tremendous burden on the school taxes, because when the school board does the assessment of the new taxes, or whether it's going to be less or more, they just basically count students. Then they're not going house to house to see who's there illegally. And some of that problem has to do, of course, with the absentee landlords. But we have to find solutions where, first of all, there's no evil person there. The homeowner, you know, has to do what he has to do to rent a house and make money, but also the families who are living there with the kids, they have to be there. We have to come together, and I say all the legislators, the town officials, they've just looked the other way. until now that people are complaining and trying to make waves that they're trying to address the issue. But that's been the problem. They've always addressed issues once it becomes a full-blown problem, and they should be doing preventive maintenance. And there have to be better ways that we can approach this issue.
Let's talk now a little bit about the environment and the West Nile virus increasing both in Nassau and Suffolk counties. Ricky, how do you think that the county should be handling the threat of West Nile virus? Should we be spraying more?
I haven't looked into it too much, to be honest with you, but from what I've read, those chemicals are not very good. They're very harmful to the environment. They're very harmful when they get into the water and the underground. I would tend to say I would be against, but then again, what solution do we have? I don't know. It's not an easy answer. But normally I would be against the spraying.
What do you think, Kevon? I mean, we have had a case of a couple of human cases, and in fact, one person did die from it. Yes. How do we control it?
Well, I mean, controlling is really through preventative. And when I talk to our health commissioner, Dr. Ackman, and when I talk to a lot of people throughout the health department, it's really getting out there early, in the early stages, and being able to locate where there's excess water, where there's places where mosquitoes like to fester. I think one of the other things also is that, I mean, there needs to be more informational education for the people, because a lot of people don't know their backgrounds, their backyards could be a feeding place for mosquitoes, and that's where a lot of the problems come about, because mosquitoes don't have a large flying range. I mean, it's very confined. So I think from that standpoint, we need to be more out front in terms of education and more information. And as a resort, if it comes down to it, we may have to spray. But I like to be more preventative in the earlier months of the summer.
Let's sticking here with the environment. A number of Superfund sites in Nassau County. Kevon, I'm going to begin with you. How do we clean these up? And there isn't enough federal money to do it. So how do we do it? A lot of people in your district and throughout Nassau County living next to Superfund sites.
We have quite a few. That, to my knowledge, and I had spoken to a few people from the county in regards to that. I think we have to start cleaning them up by being a little bit more proactive in terms of when the businesses we start to attract and the businesses that we start to bring in, we have to basically provide some type of incentive for them to come into a site which may be a great location, but at the same time, it may require some type of cleanup. The county has very limited resources to do the cleanup and then provide a business at the same time. So I think that's really going to come at the table when we talk in negotiations and start bringing in more businesses into Nassau County, that we start to discuss ideas for how they could possibly help the county in cleaning it up, and at the same time, we provide them with a benefit, hopefully, you know, through their business, and start to nurture that relationship, I think.
And Ricky, a lot of people live next to these sites but have no idea. We're talking about possible health concerns, environmental concerns. How do you see us going after and cleaning up these Superfund sites?
Okay, I need to know firstly, was that created by private entities or by governmental entities, which I'm not aware of who created the mess. And then once that is identified, then we have to make people accountable.
All right, thank you gentlemen very much. It is now time for closing statements, and we will hear first from Kevon. Go ahead.
I've been proud to serve the Nassau County 1st Legislative District for the last year now. I think together we have done a lot of great things. We've passed legislation to put safeguards in for youth board agencies, so that if you have a contract with the Nassau County, you're going to know that your child is safe with any council or board of directors, because we're going to require fingerprinting and background checks. We've held gang seminars, 3 since my term over a year now, that basically provide information and to the public so they can find out ways on how they're going to help. We're providing fiscal stability to Nassau County. First time ever. The first time we've seen a bond upgrade earlier this year, and I think there's going to be many more bond upgrades to come. I think the time is now turning. We're starting to see the Nassau County really turn the corner. And I think together, if you entrust with me one more time, or maybe one more time now, but future times again and again, I think we'll really get it together, and we'll have Nassau County moving forward and make it the greatest county in the nation. Thank you.
All right, Ricky LaRosa, go ahead. Your closing statement, sir.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Channel 12. Folks, I'm going to repeat it as much as my incumbent here doesn't want me to say it. It's 57%. We'll get to the figures later. And it is $500 million spending increase. I am not a politician. I'm not seasoned. I am a community activist. And I'm going to bring to the table issues which are not being brought to the table. I'm going to be truly your advocate. Okay, our district is very diverse. It's a very beautiful district. It has a large immigrant population, Haitian, Jamaican, Hispanic, and I will be the advocate for all the residents of our community. I am very proud to be the Republican candidate for Legislative District Number 1, and I am very proud to be living in the country where a son of a janitor can grow up to be the people's representative in their legislative body. I am very honored to have that, and I want to say hi to my parents, Maria and Peter. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for being there for me, for giving me the education that you've given me. I want to thank the professors at Queens College for giving me their sound education, inspiring me to go and seek public service. November 4th, folks. November 4th.
Thank you. Your candidates for Nassau County's District Legislative District Number 1, Ricky LaRosa and Kevon Abrahams. Thank you very much. If you're looking for more information about your local races, just log on to news12.com and click on the Island Vote 2003 icon. Remember, Election Day is November 4th. Make your vote count. I'm Heather Holmes. Thanks for watching this election special here on News 12 Long Island, as local news gets.
Having transmission problems? Why pay exorbitant